The New South Wales stadium wars are still raging, with the ANZ and Allianz redevelopments causing a lot of trouble for both the New South Wales Government and for our new guests' trust, the SCG Trust, who are part of the development plans, obviously with them controlling the Sydney Football Stadium, or Allianz, or whatever it's called these days. Now, mate, there's been a lot of talk about this. There's a petition started. There's a lot of positives from a lot of perspectives. There's also a lot of negatives. Now, do you want to just put the Trust's position on this?
Yep.
Why is it getting rebuilt? Don't talk about ANZ, but why is your stadium getting rebuilt?
Oh, look, I won't talk about ANZ because I don't know. It's not my job to know anything about ANZ. I don't really have to think about that at all, apart from being a sporting spectator. I love sport. I love sport way before I played cricket, representative cricket. The thing with, and I'll put it to you really bluntly, nowadays, when you build a stadium, you have to be compliant to certain safety regulations, workplace health and safety as well, not just for the safety of people who, visit the games. But there's certain things that you have to put in place. There's also a huge, and this is something that, we probably don't recognise enough. There's a lot more women going to sporting events, okay? This is not something that was thought about in the 80s.
Yeah.
The Sydney Football Stadium, Allianz Stadium, was built in 1988. It hasn't really been touched since. At the time it was built, there weren't the same sort of precautions and regulations in place, because people didn't know about it so much.
Am I right in saying that the building codes have changed in the last
massively
10 or so years?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They've changed massively. There have been, a lot of, there's been a lot of analysis done on this particular ground. It's getting to the point.
Let's cut to the chase. Like, why is it going to take the government like $2 billion to do two stadiums? I mean, what's wrong with this?
So this is not.
Like cosmetically, I look at it and just go, well, there's not much wrong with it.
It was built in 1988. Okay,
this is from a bloke who doesn't know anything about it.
But you played there.
Just look at it. Yeah.
So you played there. The changing rooms are good. The race is good. You run out on the field. It's a good field. We do our best as the trust to make sure there's a good surface.
Yeah.
Okay, you know that.
Yeah.
The people that sit in the stands are my responsibility. Okay, I got to make sure that they're safe. I got to make sure that their live sporting experience is awesome. Because, mate, we can sit in front of TVs this big at home now. I can sit there. I can have my mobile. I can have my tablet. I can have my bar fridge. The most important aspect for me is people who are sitting in those stands there. I got to make sure that if there's a problem, mate, we've seen it in sporting stadiums all around the world now. In France,
South America.
Mate, it's difficult. You got to make sure that people can get out real quick. You got to make sure that all the amenities are there. We've got toilets, we've got catering. There's not massive lines anywhere. When you get in and out of the ground, like you probably notice when you go to any sporting ground in Australia now, you SWAT, you got the metal detectors, you got, check your bags. You're not allowed to bring a bottle of water. We've got to check that sort of stuff out. These stadiums now need to be upgraded. People have talked about Melbourne a lot for years about how it's the sporting capital of Australia. We live in New South Wales. You want Melbourne to be the sporting capital of Australia?
I couldn't give a shit, honestly.
You don't care?
No, I don't care.
Okay, so I don't actually care where the sporting capital of Australia is.
Yeah.
But if it's because the facilities are better there, well, that's stupid.
So there's a lot of talk in the papers about the hirers, so your NRLs, your ARUs, your soccer, not wanting to play at these grounds unless they're upgraded, that they'll take major events away. Is that the mail that you're getting in the trust? That are you having discussions with these organisations?
Look. If you're a major hirer, we're really, really lucky at the trust. We got the Swans at the SCG for we've got the best A-League team in the competition by miles, FC. We've got the Waratahs. We've got the Roosters. We've got a bunch of teams that are playing. I mean, we've even got some Wallabies tests every single year.
Yeah.
Okay. What I want to make sure that the sporting experience, the live sporting experience for every single person that goes there is safe, is maximised and it's world class.
What's the plan anyway? What are you just going to knock this whole thing down? Knock the whole thing down, build a whole, what, 60,000?
No. Our stadium will be 45,000.
Only 45. What's it fit now, 42?
42 and a half, I think. Well, it could be 45 and a half, actually. I'm sorry, but 45 and a half. But the thing is, mate, it's not a... You think about the best stadiums in the world, like Carisbrooke and like their little...
Suncorp?
Yeah, mate. Well, Suncorp's a great example. Yeah, rectangular, dedicated rectangular stadium. Even apparently, Amy, I've not been to Amy.
That's awesome. Great place. It's a mini Suncorp. They've based it all around Suncorp. So I want to know what this stadium's going to look like, which is, I think this is the home of rugby league. I always look at it. I don't look at ANZ like it's home of rugby league. I always look at Allianz like it's a home. So whatever you do, just do a good fucking job.
Well, so, and you know what? When we do a good job, and I've got to say, man, and it doesn't matter what your politics are, right? But Gladys Berejiklian is the one who's driving this. Stuart as is sports minister. He's been pushing for this for a long time. People aren't talking. I know there's lots of people saying you should be spending the money on schools. You should be spending the money.
That's when I first heard it. When I first heard it was like $2 billion going into 2 stadiums in Sydney. I'm like, I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Like because I've played there so many times, and I don't really sit. I've never sat. I've never sat in a thing. I'm usually sitting on halfway or whatever.
Yeah.
In them little things, I get in, I go to the sheds, I get out.
Well, you think about
what I mean?
the revenue we can create long term. Like, look where it's situated. You got the CBD in the background. You can bring these big sporting events.
100%, I'm with you.
We'll make the money back.
But I'm not with.
Rennie, where'd you grow up?
Just down the road.
Right, where?
Kingsford.
Right, Kingsford. Okay, so when you were growing up, right, where did you want to play sport? Right, you wanted to play there.
Burrows Park.
Okay.
Well,
no, we'll see. Okay, so with all due respect, that's because that's probably the pinnacle for you. But,
that's a fair call.
But the thing is that like it's the same for me just next door. When I grew up in Perth, you know what? And this is hilarious. I grew up in Perth. No, it wasn't the Wacker. I wanted to play the SCG.
Yeah.
But that's where Don Bradman played. That's where Keith Miller played. That's where I wanted to play at the SCG.
That's what your initials are.
And that's what my initials are. But I'd imagine it doesn't matter whether you're from Redfern, Guildford, Campbelltown, Cabramatta, Newcastle, wherever, I reckon you want to play in the best sporting precinct in New South Wales.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah. And that is that is supposed to be the best rectangular sporting ground in New South Wales.
So what is wrong?
Your best memories?
My best memories of this stadium are the 88, 89 grand final, 95,
100%.
NRL grand final.
The exact same.
Obviously, it's not up for regulate. It's not compliant with regulation, so there needs to be.
Why? What is
done.
wrong with it? Aesthetically, I'm looking at it. I'm going, what is wrong with it? So a lot of people are probably looking at the stadium, going, no, I'm just saying, what is wrong with the stadium? Is it falling down?
It's more building codes.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. This is what probably half of Australia don't understand. What's wrong with the building? You're on the trust, so you know. So what's wrong with it?
That's probably the state government. I mean, the state government. At the end of the day, the state government. They're spending public money. So the state government, by rights, should be selling this a lot better than what they are.
No, look. Well, the thing is, and we know that this happens with government bodies. Full stop. We don't necessarily need to know. Okay. I mean, I need to know in this instance, but realistically speaking, a guy who's paying money for a ticket to a Roosters game just wants to make sure that they have a great time. Okay, and that's all they need to really worry about. If you let me worry about it, you let the sports.
But mate, honestly, in this particular case, people are worried about it. Like
it's
the first time.
People are complaining about things that they don't understand.
What's wrong with it?
It's not compliant.
It's not compliant.
So there's safety regulations that if that was built today, it doesn't fit.
They wouldn't be allowed to build it.
All right, I just want to know. Like you can just say.
But the thing is, I don't want you to think that you're not safe when you turn up to a footy game. Okay, because we're going to make sure. Because if there's a problem,
what about a terrorist attack? Just say compliant to most.
Okay, cool.
The rest of Australia, everyone's just going to go, what's compliant?
Okay,
so we're talking about fire escapes. Are we talking about the foundation? Is it going to fall down?
No.
Like, what are we talking about?
Okay, so that's a very good question. All right, so what I mean by compliant is when you build a new building in New South Wales today, there's certain safety regulations, and not just safety. It's like, how close is the nearest toilet? Are there an equal number of toilets for men and women? how long you're going to be lining up when you walk into the venue. How long will it take you to get out if you want to go out?
Yeah.
So I went to I love music, right? I went to a concert the other night, and there's just huge bunches of people. And if there was an incident, we're in big trouble, right?
Well,
and
that's a lot of people don't know that. They don't understand.
Well, and you know what? The reason we're not talking about that is because
there's games on now.
You still want to sell tickets to the games you got?
Because there's games on now.
No, that's not it at all. Because I guarantee you this.
There's people playing soccer in that there now.
No, Willie, I guarantee you this. If I know that this is an unsafe venue, as one of the trustees, I will be voting to close it down.
Yeah, okay. If that was happening right now, you'd go,
but you have the right to do that, don't you? As a trustee, you could say, you know what? It's not safe. It's shut.
Okay. It's all going to go forward. When is the new one going to be up?
So look, what we're proposing is that it's demolished. Well, construction starts.
Like ballpark. I don't know
construction starts by December next year. Okay, so we're in 2017 now. By December 2018, construction starts. I would suggest that means that the demolition starts as soon as as soon as the footy season finishes, right? We know, because it's a 1988 build, we know what's underneath. There's no scary bits or anything like that, which like some of these older structures, there might be a problem. But I would suggest that by 2022 we're playing footy there. Well, mate, it's cool, and you know what? It'll be the best rectangular stadium at that stage in the Southern Hemisphere.
Now, Stewie,
that's hard.
Man, it's really cool.
That's cool. Like I didn't know all the
all
the little things that went with this stadium. But the other half is that other thing, ANZ, and that was built in 1999, or maybe just before the Olympics, and they got to spend $1 billion on that. What is up with that? I know you got nothing to do with that.
I don't have anything to do with that.
But I think that's open for discussion here. Does that need? Why does that need another $1 billion? That's bullshit.
Last time when this was, so Mike Baird was the one who first brought this out, and then he buckled to political pressure, and he pulled it. Now there's a lot of talk with Fitzsimons' petition and that. Is there any chance that the state government is going to pull the funding for this as well?
Gladys Berejiklian is very, very cool. She's strong. The best thing about having the best stadiums in Australia and the Southern Hemisphere, because Parramatta Stadium is almost done, right?
Yeah.
Right? If we then have the best and most recently built rectangular stadiums in the Southern Hemisphere.
Is this going to be a pissing test at the end of the day? Do we want the best stadiums?
Do you know what? No, Willie, maybe
or do we want I agree with you on this, but I mean that other one, I don't think it needs that much work.
Maybe it is going to be that, okay? But let me just say this. If we got the best three, okay, we can host the Soccer World Cup, the Football World Cup, round ball football. We can host the Rugby World Cup. We've got 3 venues in New South Wales that are rectangular stadiums, dedicated rectangular stadiums.
This is where most
different sizes. But I'm not saying that you can't spend the money on education and schools as well, like education and health as well. This state government, there's a lot of building. You drive down any street in New South Wales at the moment, you tell me there's no building going on in New South Wales. All the roads are, they've been done.
Oh yeah.
So it's not just the stadiums, right? And people who are talking about it just being sport. And, apologies, Peter Fitzsimons, it's narrow-minded and you're deliberately causing trouble because they know damn well that the government is spending money on other things apart from sport.
And they've just come out in a massive surplus as well. They've just announced a massive
mate,
surplus.
You know what? Cricket has never taken 1 cent off Tourism New South Wales or Destinations New South Wales, whatever you want to call it. And this Ashes test, right? So people are going to fly from the other side of the world and stay in Sydney for probably 10 days. And hotel rooms, they're going to eat, they're going to get hotels, they're going to
drink. It's the Barmy Army. They'll spend a lot on piss.
A serious amount of money. And imagine if we got a soccer World Cup.
Yes. I understand all that, but I mean, the average Joe,
do you know how much money it is?
Average Joe is worried about the schools and getting Medicare and all this sort of stuff, when we're worried about building $2 billion on sporting things.
I'm right there with you.
If the money comes in, what they're saying is if the money comes into that stadium,
tourism,
it puts money back in.
Exactly.
Yeah. I agree with Will though. ANZ to me.
That's because he's bigger than me.
Yeah, but I understand the reasoning behind Allianz.
I don't understand
ANZ. I mean, to be fair, the building code I think started in 2003 or something, so they may also have some issues.
We're trying to make the best three. Look, I hate to drag it back to cricket again, right? During the Adelaide Test match, all anybody was talking about was how good the Adelaide Oval is now, and the impact it's made on the city, and how you can walk from the city, and how it's an amazing place. During the WACA Test match, it's the last Test match of the WACA. They keep showing the new stadium over the back and how good it's going to be. It's all anybody ever talks about.
Were you a bit sad to see the old WACA go? No.
Mate, I'm a big fan of progress.